Welcome to the Fantasy Football House Week 6 edition. We got Craig Mack across from me here. We got Dustin to my right. Week 6, guys. Got to get hyped. You ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got some good matchups this week. We were talking about some of them before we got on here live. I guess we'll kick it off real quick with the question I had and that I've been thinking about this week is if you're a Kyler Murray owner, is it time to trade him? Craig?
I have Kyler in the league because a friend of mine actually suggested drafting him ahead of Dak Prescott because I had Dak in the other 5 leagues. And he says, no, you can't take Dak ahead of Kyler. You got to take – I was like, all right, well, because you said so, I guess I'll – and now I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had just stayed with Dak and all those. But
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Man, I'm really hoping for a performance this week. You can't deal him now. You know, he's coming off a bad game. You can't. I mean, you can shop him and see if you can get, you know, some kind of a deal. But I think the news is already out that the shoulder. So you know, who are you going to get? There's a question for you.
Well,
Jalen Hurts already played this week, so
yeah, what you would try to do and try to get in a package deal would be another quarterback back at what people would perceive a lower value than Kyler, and then you would also get a throw-in player.
So who are we talking about? What quarterback?
You named a great name in Jalen Hurts, and you might have to wait till after this week, let Kyler do Kyler things, and hopefully he'll put up a decent stat line. And yeah, just get away from this whole shoulder thing because we saw what happened last year. Kyler got hurt, and he wasn't the same Kyler this whole second half of the season. I don't want nothing to do with that. I think it's time to run. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I think, you know, with his baseball, you know, it is worrisome about how long that arm is going to, I mean, with him being a smaller quarterback when he takes those big hits, which he doesn't take a lot of them. But, you know, with the arm issues.
Who are you going to replace him with?
Well, I'm not saying you're going to get the same value back.
Right.
But we all know with quarterbacks, you can get something similar. So let's say you're getting 4 points less a week, but then you're picking up those 4 points and more by getting a flex in the deal.
Right, but
so you think right now you could
breaking news.
Breaking news. Oh, Chris Carson is going on injured reserve out for 3 weeks.
Alex Collins, baby.
Rashad Penny, those should be back next week. We'll talk about that on the game coming up. But yeah, man, I would be looking for something like trading Kyler for Jalen Hurts was a great name with Javonte Williams, something like that kind of deal.
After this week, I think it's still obtainable that you can move Kyler and get Hurts next week. I think that's definitely the guy to go after. But you're not going to get Tom Brady.
No.
You're not going to get Herbert.
No.
You probably don't want Aaron Rodgers. Russ Wilson is gone.
Yeah.
So Dak Prescott, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, you're not getting any of those guys. So that's why I say if you're going to have to take Kyler and something of yours to go get an upgrade.
Russell Wilson was a good one. Why don't you pick up Russell Wilson on a cheaper price right now, and then you roll with somebody off the waiver wire for a week or two?
That's what I was going to suggest.
3 weeks, yeah.
If Russ went to IR.
He did go to IR today, so yeah, it would be 3 weeks. If there's like a Tannehill out there, that would be a great
Man, I
move.
hate doing that.
But I mean, for a couple weeks, if you're sitting at 5-0 right now,
we've all if your record can support it and you think you can take a shot or two, but in me personally, we've all been there. We've all played the Derek Carrs and the Tannehills, and you know, last season Tannehill had great fantasy value. It was awesome. It was amazing. They don't look the same right now, you know. But when you roll out Kirk Cousins, you know, and you're like, yes, and then the next week you're like, I lost because, you know, like me personally, if he's not, Hurts is the only guy. That's where I cut off. That's the only guy.
I talked to you this season. I'm the play matchups, play by the wire, pick up, drop, and every time I start somebody, they don't even come to play.
for no reason.
Right, right.
They're in a favorable matchup.
Right.
By all accounts, they should boom, and
Yep.
then they just tank because they're not elite.
Red
Yeah.
alert, red alert, red alert. Dustin, who are you playing this week at quarterback?
Lawrence.
Everybody, drop Lawrence out of your lineup right now. Dustin's playing him.
Well, and just before I was just saying, hey man, what about Miami's defense? I'm in a situation. I tried to bid on the Steelers D, I didn't get them, so I'm rostering the Dolphins D, and I thought they go overseas. Trevor Lawrence, the Jags aren't going to throw up lots of points, and with Tua back, Miami's a solid defense this week. If you wanted to stream, I don't think I would play Trevor Lawrence, man. That can't be Heineke. Heineke.
That would be what we call a great segue, because our first game that we're going to preview is, not across the way, not across the water. It's across the pond. It's across the pond in good old Tottenham Spurs stadium over there, and I guess in England.
Top of the morning. Is that?
Top of the morning to you, lad.
That's
The UK.
not. But
It's
yeah.
in London, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
It reminds me, I think
Spot
next
of
year
tea.
we want to go on some kind of a vacation, just me and the wife. We've never been anywhere. I think we're going to go. Well, we've been to Mexico, but I
You've
think.
been to New York, too.
Okay, but.
However, telling your life story to everybody, but.
Right. I think next year we're gonna try to actually go somewhere and do. Because I mean, we're talking about when we sound like a couple. Like we're from Texas,
Yeah.
Like we sound like, and I'd like to be a little more
I'd
cultured
like to
than
venture
that.
out yonder and see if there's anything else
Exactly,
out here.
yeah.
Past these pastures.
Y'all.
Dolphins at Jags. Miami is favorite by 3 points, and this is before this line came out, before the Tua.
Before Tua.
Yeah. So you got Tua back. That's the big news in this game. You got the quarterback on the other side, Mr. Trevor Lawrence, who had a decent game last week. He was actually a top 12 quarterback. I guess we'll start off on that side of the ball first. Dustin, you're playing him. I guess you have the confidence. Were we looking for a repeat from last week?
I think so. I think he's thrown so many interceptions this last
He got them all out of his
five
system.
weeks that he can't support that for the rest of the year. And I've been seeing Kurt Warner and all kinds of analysis talking about his game, and they're saying that it's an elite. We talked about elite earlier. It is an elite person, whether he doesn't have the pieces, whether he's just a rookie. I think he puts it together this week. So,
Craig, anybody else on the Jags that we were playing other than Trevor Lawrence, if that's an option possibly for you, and James Robinson? Is there anybody else that you could start? We go on Marvin Jones. We taking a swing at Laviscus.
No, I don't want anything to do with Chenault or Marvin Jones personally, but the tight end, Dan Arnold.
Dan Arnold. You're back on the Dan Arnold
you
train
go.
for the second week, huh?
Yeah, I didn't. I went with Conklin when his week hit. Wasted the fab. Max Williams, I went chasing touchdowns. And wasted the fab. I know Dustin picked up. Did you get anything out of Max Williams before he went on IR?
I got a good game out of him, but
No, I went with targets and touches, man. I went with Darnold week 1, had very little work, but that he'd only been there for like 4 days.
right.
And then the second week, I think he had six targets, 6 catches, and 60 yards. So,
Dan Arnold.
Yep.
2 first names, always a crowd pleaser.
yes, sir.
Other side of the ball, the Miami Dolphins, as we mentioned, Tua's back. Don't put him in your lineups. Don't start him for fantasy. But this backfield, though, Myles Gaskin, is it? Can we get a repeat out of last week? He was my guess, with all the work he got catching the ball and got in the end zone twice, he was a top 5 back last week. Are we running Myles Gaskin back out there, and can we play any of these wide receivers?
I mean, I think with Tua back, it's going to go back to, I think thinking from a coaching perspective, when you have a different quarterback, you kind of have to change the system.
Yeah.
So I think, with Tua back, they do know that system, but I think it's going to take a minute to get the wheels greased. So I don't know if we can get a repeat performance out of him. We've
That's
talked
my
about
worry with Gaskin this week is if the quarterback situation would have stayed the same, oh yeah, fire him up. But
right.
now you're going back to with Tua where he wasn't successful with Tua those couple games that he did play with them to start the season. I think the only option you could play as far as a pass catcher, though, to segue to that, would be Gesicki this week. You have Parker, who's been declared out, and then you got Will Fuller on IR. Craig, anybody that you want to throw out here for the Dolphins or play the defense? You're playing the
Defense is about the only one, man.
Yeah.
Gesicki hasn't had much with Tua. Brissett was the guy getting him the targets, and yes, Tua's going to probably see that and think, okay. But I think his ceiling is lower with Tua. I think his floor is lower with Tua. And Myles Gaskin, obviously, I know in the leagues if you have Gaskin, you probably have to use him. But
Yeah.
and it's a good matchup. So, yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I think a lot of what his production this season has come from receptions. I don't know. I mean, it could be a one-sided Miami just kind of beating up on Jacksonville all day. I don't know
Could
if
get
they're
Malcolm Brown here, guys.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
could
I don't,
happen.
I'm not real big on that. But no, his lower end RB2, you can roll Gaskin out there.
Next game, Texans at Colts. The Colts come in as a pretty big favorite here by 10 points. They are getting T.Y. Hilton possibly back. That's still going to be a game-time decision there. What do we think about the Colts side of the ball, Craig? Anybody we can play other than Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, Pittman. Yeah, you can play
The
Pittman.
Pittman show
Even with
continues.
T.Y., still roll Pittman out there.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
I said the Pittman show continues, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
hot-
yeah.
the hot streak. If you had to choose OBJ or Pittman.
Pittman.
Okay. I'll make it a little harder for you here. Adam Thielen or Pittman?
Damn, you went real hard. Man, who's Minnesota
Pittman.
playing?
I like Dustin there. I would go Pittman also.
I mean, Colts are playing a physical dumpster fire of a
Who
team.
does Minnesota play?
Oh, we'll get to it here
Yeah.
in a minute, but
We
anyway,
will.
Right,
I'll look while y'all keep
Well, but-
talking about that. But
Yeah,
they
Pittman,
play the
Carolina.
Carolina.
I guess Pittman.
Yeah, you got to.
so yeah, that's kind of the
I
breaking
can't
point
believe
there,
I
guys.
just
We
said
found that
that,
out real
man.
quick. Yeah, I think you got to roll with Pittman, who's been on fire, and Thielen, who's been part of the dumpster fire lately. Here within-
Carolina, that's going to be a higher scoring game. I mean,
yeah, that's a
Uh,
sneaky
that's
game.
very close. I think the Pittman and Thielen, that's very close.
Yeah.
Anybody else on the Colts? Pittman, Taylor, that's it, right?
Their running game is so inconsistent.
Well,
Like
yeah,
they're
that's
a
right.
lot.
Except for Taylor.
You're
Right,
banking
right.
on Taylor getting that. You know, he got
Which at
fired
the
up last
beginning of
week.
the season,
Right.
Taylor wasn't there either.
Yeah.
They're a lot like usually the running back committees are, and it's whoever has the hot hand.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the other side of the ball, the Texans. Time for David Mills. Did I say his name? Daniel Mills?
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. That was way off.
Cooks.
That's it, right?
that's
end.
pretty much
Consistency.
yeah.
Next, who's up?
It's
Wait.
kind of funny. Cooks still is an absolute fantasy beast.
Cooks or OBJ?
Cooks.
Yeah, I'd probably go Cooks.
My, how the mighty have fallen. OBJ needs to get out of there. They have
Absolutely.
no chemistry together.
Yeah,
him
it's
and
really
Baker.
weird.
Yeah, they're not eating breakfast together. Packers at Bears.
Pass me the pancakes. I'm eating tacos. Like that's.
He's like, oh, here's the syrup. He's like, that's sugar free, and like he just stares them down. Like,
Once he
Packers-
started doing those house commercials where the stadium was his
Oh
house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are decent though. I know
Yeah.
this is kind of a random off the topic here, but
Are those my shoulder pads?
he's like, they can be. When he's talking amongst the other ladies, like if he's like another like one that lives in the
Yeah.
neighborhood and they're talking mess about the other girls.
She's a
and-
good egg. Yeah.
Uh,
The nachos, when he squeezes the nacho cheese in, is that they're trick or treating the Halloween bags, and he puts chips in all their little Halloween
He does
That's
nachos
great.
up.
I don't remember that one. Yeah,
That
that's
is
good.
good.
I don't remember
It's
that
good.
one.
Packers at Bears. The Packers are coming in as 6-point favorites. Starting Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is getting a little shaky back on that shaky ground to me as an Aaron Rodgers owner, but you got to run him out there. He's going to be in your top 12. Devontae Adams has been super Devontae Adams back to what he was last year and the
Why
year before.
can't Rodgers produce other pass catchers? What's up with that? Tanyan last year. We've always been, ever since Jordy Nelson left, like we're looking for who's the other pass catcher. Like
Yeah, because it used to be Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson there for a while.
he's always been able to
two.
support two. There's always been two, and now it's like there's just
Well, I think it
And
went
Randall
more,
Cobb's back. I mean, you think that
Nah, he does
He's
have
older,
some
but-
flashes, but
right?
I think they went to more of a style with throwing to the running game so much more that the last couple of years that now the second guy is that running back.
That makes
Williams, who was there last year, the years before, and then Jones, of course.
right. They run the ball so much better now.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a second pay. He just needs Devontae Adams because of play action, and you just go get your stud downfield and move on.
Aaron Jones firing him up. So we had Devontae, Aaron Jones.
AJ Dillon, is he in flex consideration this week?
Yeah. I think so.
Deeper leagues, yes,
Well,
but
yeah, deeper leagues. Yeah, I would. I mean, if you're in a pinch, I mean, if it was the crazy bye weeks that we're going to experience next week, and you had bye, all
Okay.
these people on buys, then you would have to roll with somebody like Dylan.
To my defense, my running game in my fantasy is absolutely trash. So AJ Dillon would be a godsend for me this week. So
Right.
Thank you,
with
Mom.
that said,
Thank you, may I have another?
yeah.
On the other side of the ball, the Bears. Can you play anybody?
My wife took Allen Robinson in this league. I've got A-Rob in a league. I'm gonna roll him out there, man. I have to. I have
I
to.
think it boils down to
I have
the
to.
where you took him.
I have to.
You have to, yeah.
It's a wide receiver premium league. I'm currently in the process of trying to move some pieces around. I don't want to sell low on Robinson. I know he's going to have a good game, hopefully before the trade deadline. So no, I'm gonna roll him out there. I think at some point, well, shoot, I text you the other day. I'm like, who's the quarterback even? Like what's going on with that? So
Yeah,
Fields has got to be able to.
If you're in a tight spot at quarterback, I could see you trying to roll out Fields and see what just happens. You never know, but
Green Bay is going to be on top. The game script's going to be there, so it's going to be.
He's got a knee thing going on, so you're not going to see as much rushing. out of
Mooney.
Fields.
I have to play Mooney too.
If Allen Robinson's ruled out in this game because he logged a limited practice today on Friday and that was it.
Right.
Like he made an appearance. If he's out, you play Mooney
Right.
because he's the only guy left.
I have to
Right,
play them
right.
both either way.
Yeah. I almost actually. I think it's just because I've gone to a very dark place with Allen Robinson now. I almost dropped him this week.
Man, that's a dark
I
place.
almost rage dropped him. But we worked things out, and he's just on my bench now.
That's good. That's good.
I am now playing.
He's still a name. Like, I mean,
yeah.
you can get something.
I almost
Not
played
sure
Corey
what.
Davis is on his bye week. I almost played him over
What could
him.
you get for Allen Robinson?
I mean yin yang, right? You have
The 4-piece nugget at McDonald's?
A
Maybe?
Rob, but you also have Cooper Cup. So there's the lows, and then you also have that.
that's a different league. I'm talking about A-Rob, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I do have Cooper Cup. He is one of my faves. He's gonna bounce back too this week. That's a.
He had a
preview coming
fine
up.
game last week. There's
Yeah.
no bound. If you're looking for this, yeah.
Well, he needs to get back up to his 25-point standard that
Right,
he dropped
that's
in the first
not-
couple weeks.
Any other Bears running back? Herbert?
Cricket.
Herbert?
Cricket. It looks like it's gonna be Herbert. Wait, Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Khalil Mack, who
I actually started a Madden franchise, and that's why I know it's Khalil Herbert.
Yeah. He looked good when he was out there.
Yeah, 18 for 75. He was running hard.
I mean, he looked like the typical Bears running back that
Mike
we've
Davis or Khalil Herbert.
Mike Davis, they're on a bye.
Oh, never mind. That was terrible.
known. Herbert. Give me Herbert.
Alex Collins.
Yes, there you go. Alex Collins or Khalil Herbert. I would go with Alex Collins.
I think so.
Who are they playing? Because Green Bay's got a pretty good D.
Chuba Hubbard or
Collins is playing Pittsburgh, and I'd still roll with Collins. I go with Chuba. We just looked at Minnesota. If it's Carolina versus Minnesota, I go Chuba. Chuba over both players.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Herbert's going to be down there pretty low,
He's
flex.
the low end RB2 /
Yeah.
flex.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending on what you need. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and
He'd be my top running back.
it
right
looks like Mixon's gonna go, but for a minute there, it was
Yeah.
gonna be the Chris Evans show.
Right.
So if it's Herbert, Chris Evans, Alex Collins, I mean, you can check rankings, but Darrell Williams,
now. Yep.
Alex Collins. Well, shoot, I'm sorry, Chuba. I would say Chuba, Darrell Williams, Alex Collins, and then you would get down to Herbert, and then if Mixon doesn't go, but it looks like he's gonna.
What
Chris
about, well, just because these are some waiver wire pickups this week, what about Devontae Booker? Where would he fit into that?
Oh, damn,
that
I forgot.
thing that you just did there. Yeah, it looked really cool.
At home versus the Rams, Booker would be probably below Darrell Williams for me.
Yeah.
Me
It's
too.
a, it's
I
a
liked-
tough
I
matchup.
like Williams
above
more.
above Alex Collins, below for me.
Yeah.
Below Darrell Williams, but above Alex
I
Collins.
can roll with that. Yeah.
Or Collins. I mean, third, fourth. If Booker and Collins are right there together.
Yep.
Next game should be. They got the same record, man, and this is kind of sad because Washington has a pretty bad record, not looking so great. The Chiefs at the Washington football team, almost said Redskins. Kansas City favored by only 7 points. You would think that spread would have been more if you would have looked at that matchup.
Don't play Josh Gordon. Don't play Josh Gordon.
You learned a hard lesson, huh?
No, I would have
Oh.
told, but I saw he's rostered. He's rostered.
Yep.
I know that I was trying to make some trade proposals, and I didn't know if the guy that picked him up. Point is, just don't play him. If he's a play, it's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's if it happens at all. But
Absolutely.
for the Chiefs, so
I think the Chiefs side of the ball, I think Tyreek is going to play.
Right.
Kelsey, Mahomes. At running back, we talked about Darrell Williams, run him out there. Now, are we scared about McKinnon getting in the mix more there, or we're good? Okay.
60-40. Darrell Williams 60-40. McKinnon's going to be out there, but it's going to be the Williams 60-40. So he should get Williams will probably get around 16 touches, and then I think McKinnon will be right behind him with 10 to 12.
Right.
Because they're going to be winning, they're going to be so.
Hopefully.
Now, does McKinnon score on those
It's
10
yeah,
catches? I mean,
nobody
it's a
knows.
possibility.
if
but
he gets the Williams touchdown, it's possible.
Right.
Either
happens.
one of them can catch it into the end zone. I
Right.
mean, they could each have a touchdown.
Is there any other pass catchers for the Chiefs? Would
Not
you play
Mecole
Miko
Hardman,
Hardman
no.
after last week? Okay.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I think I'm the same fence. You got to wait it out.
That
and
was a really
see.
weird, Tyreek. If I was watching the game closely for my wife,
He was kind of in
needing-
and out or something. I didn't get to catch all the game, but I just know
They were
the
doing a
stats and what happened. But
bracket defense. If they were basically just trying to take Tyreek away, but still, I wouldn't mess with Hardman or anything.
the Redskins. The football team.
Yeah,
you're going to get
Antonio
us canceled
Gibson.
on YouTube, dude.
Antonio Gibson.
Yep. Antonio Gibson.
You could even flex McKissick if you're. Sorry again, Dustin, but
Yep.
if you really need it, you could probably get away with playing.
Just a
McKissick.
little note here. McLaurin did come into practice today saying he was a little tight, a.k.a. his hamstring, and he is now questionable for the game. So he went from an active status to a questionable status on the report going into the game for this weekend. So keep an eye on that. I believe it is a 12 o'clock game, though, so you'll have some clarity before the game starts. Are we messing around with Ricky Seals-Jones?
Yes, if you're looking for a tight end,
Yeah, if you're in that position, I mean, he's one of those
He
super
was on the
talented.
field for 90% of the snaps last
Yeah.
week. It's
yeah,
crazy.
Seals Jones, I would play over Conklin. I would play over. I might even play him over Gesicki, man. He's gonna get targets if
Yeah.
he's the second or third pass catcher when they're trailing Kansas City. So Seals Jones, yeah, he's solid this week.
Yeah, we'll
I
roll
concur.
on to the game that we were kind of hinting at earlier.
If
Could be a high
McLaurin
scoring-
doesn't go, is there any pass catcher that
Oh man,
you want to roll a dice on? Asking for a friend.
No, I
Not
just
that
stay
I
away
could
from the
think
whole
of, yeah.
thing, and just
It's what did Diami
Jeremy
Brown.
maybe
Yeah.
for DFS and stuff like that. But yeah, I wouldn't even try to. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Vikings at Panthers. This is one of the closest spreads we got of the week here. It's giving me two different numbers here, but it's actually the Vikings are favored by 2.5, and then it also shows that they're favored by 1 point. That's weird, but it's a CBS thing here. Vikings side of the ball. We're coming into the week. Practice reports were saying that Thielen and Jefferson were not practicing. They both logged full practices today. And they both are now taking off the injury report, so we're full go there. And Dalvin Cook is back, not on the injury report for this week. Madison's coming to the game questionable, but you're not going to play Madison if you're playing Cook.
Right.
Cook's good to go. Anybody else? Are we trying the Kirk Cousins thing this week, guys? Y'all have any comments on the wide receiver situation?
I mean, I think it is going to be a high-scoring game, but with that said, I've never trusted Cousins. It's one of those. He has an amazing game, and then the week later he burns me. So
No comment. You're
About
you're good?
Cousins?
No, just about the Vikings in general. Anybody that
Oh no, yeah. If you have Thielen, you have to roll him out there. I only saw. Well, did you bench him?
Thielen?
Yeah.
He's still in my lineup.
Yeah, I saw somewhere somebody had benched him, but I was like, I mean,
It's not that the Panthers defense isn't like some
No.
kind of shut down. Like
yeah, no, I
they
don't.
got some good corners, but
Right. They're not shut down. They're not locked down. It's just what offense shows up for Minnesota. What we've seen in the past couple of weeks, Jefferson was the only pass catcher you could trust.
yeah.
right.
I mean, I do think this is going to be what's the over under? I mean, yeah, I'm going to take the over.
Yeah,
It
46
should-
points.
should
Yeah,
be a
it definitely
pretty-
should be the over. The Panthers side of the ball, we talked about Chuba. Run him out there. Definitely a flex.
Wish I had him.
Borderline
Don't have
running
him.
back too. DJ Moore. Are we?
Ooh, Robbie Anderson. I'm in a league where I'm actually having to start Darnell Mooney, and I refused to start Randall Cobb, so I dropped him. But just so I wouldn't tempt myself, so I dropped him. I have to play 3 wide receivers, so how much do I bid on Robbie Anderson?
He's available.
Somebody dropped him.
I mean, my
I've got my
rule.
wide receiver 1. I've got Darnell Mooney, and I have to play a 3rd receiver, so it's not going to be Brian Edwards.
Can you go to the owner that dropped him and get him to give you money to pick him up?
Is that email him, just say, hey man, no.
I think we
put
talked
10%.
about this.
I put 10% for Robbie
Yeah,
Anderson. I need a pass
10%.
catcher, so if he misses, I'd rather miss with him than Brian Edwards.
Yeah, all
or
jokes
Randall
aside,
Cobb.
it's a guy that's going to be on the field for probably almost 100% of the snaps.
Right.
So he's just going to be out there. We know what he's done in the past.
7 to 11 targets is my
They
guess.
made a point to get him the ball. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
He's
7.
7 targets, and the week before I think was 11,
Yeah.
or vice versa. But
So-
he's getting targets.
Yeah, they're getting him involved in the offense. So he
I
could
don't know
have
why it's such a low catch rate, 50% or under. I don't know if he and Darnold just aren't on the same page, if they're taking shots downfield and they're missing. I don't know. But
Well, I mean, we talked about it in a previous episode. Like, the connection they had is the same one they brought over from the Jets. I don't know what it is there. Maybe they need to start eating breakfast together. Maybe some brunch. I don't know. But, yeah, they need to figure that out.
don't start Robbie Anderson, y'all. If you can avoid it, don't start him. So DJ Moore,
This is
Chuba
like
Hubbard.
the thing that they would do as kids, where they're like, "Don't do drugs, kids," and then like you're like,
I'm going to have to.
"I'm
But
gonna have to, but don't do it."
how much do I bid on Robbie Anderson? Yeah, it's like, well, I'm going to go a little bit more than that because I really need him. Dang, that stinks.
I don't think anybody else on this offense that you can start. This tight end though is gonna
Darnold, you could
Oh yeah, Sam
Yeah,
Darnold.
Darnold,
Yes,
yeah.
if you're in a 12 team or deeper,
Yeah.
you can roll Darnold
A
out there.
little flyer to just keep on your radar is that tight end Temple, last name Temple. They're getting him more involved in the offense. You're seeing Ian
Oh,
Thomas
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
spreading out, but this guy Temple was like a pretty high spark athlete out
I was
of
going to say,
college.
he's
So,
athletic, really,
yeah,
really
super athletic. So they
trying
really like
trying to
him.
get him in space.
Might not be anything. Could be something in deeper leagues late in the year. So just something to keep an eye on. Chargers at Ravens, another great game we talked
That's
about.
going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is a great game. Two hot teams. Lamar Jackson. They're all going. The only guy you're missing is the Lizard King himself. Sammy Watkins has been ruled out for the game, but they give Rashad Bateman. Makes his rookie debut. I think they're going to kind of ease him back in. I think that they had said, or ease him into it, not overload him out there. Hollywood Brown. Are we playing any of the running backs? Are we messing around with the Ravens running back game? Dustin?
Who's the running back?
Exactly.
just kidding.
You answered the question.
Yep,
Thank you,
yep,
Dustin.
yep.
Craig, are you tempted to play any of the Ravens running backs? I know you cannot start Lamar Jackson as a running back.
I'm tempted when I see Devontae Freeman touch the ball in the passing game. That's the only temptation I had last week, man. Devontae Freeman, if because the offense was firing on all cylinders, so he's basically wide open in the flat, he shoots out like a cannon. And I'm thinking, man, Freeman's got. I mean, he's touching the ball in limited work in a high-powered offense. That's why you're seeing explosion. Could you count on Freeman to do this? Like grind? No, that's the only time I'm tempted, and no, not enough to actually start any of the Ravens running backs. No.
When you said that, all I think about is like Devontae Freeman being like, "Oh, you put it in the wrong spot. It goes here." Like you don't want to see that touching.
Rashad Bateman, we're not doing anything crazy. We're not trying to fire him up his first week as a rookie out here. No. Just
You gotta see it first.
make sure he's
Right.
not out there on your waiver wires for some crazy reason. But, pick him up because, he could pop.
Hey, Sammy Watkins, though, just check the stat line after the game because you might be trading for Bateman next week.
Yep.
Sammy Watkins isn't playing.
No, I know. Bateman could easily
Oh,
be
yeah,
the
yeah.
number 2.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he
So-
could take this
Going
role real
forward.
quick.
Yeah, if he gets 6 or 7 targets, yeah.
And we've been waiting for Watkins to do that.
There's
so.
going to be an injury. He's
Yeah.
going to start to fade out of the picture. Bateman takes over. So, I would just look at Bateman's stat line next week, and you could possibly still get him on a cheap.
Charger side of the ball. Justin Herbert. This guy
Start all of
literally crushed my dreams last week and put a 50 burger on me in one of our leagues. Start him, start Eckler. Mike Williams, just a word of caution. You need to watch it going into the before the game start up. The injury report because his knee did kind of swell up, so they're kind of keep an eye on that. He is coming to the game as questionable. Keenan Allen, you got to run him out there, especially he goes to wide receiver 1 if Mike Williams is out for some reason.
I was checking the time. I just had a question, man. In years past, I always feel like Keenan Allen was right around that 30 range in drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this year people were more excited and they took him earlier because of her. And I had him on my board ranked pretty high, but by the season, the closer to the season, I started putting other guys a little bit ahead of him.
Right.
So, I can't acquire Keenan Allen because he's only got 1 touchdown on the season. I can't acquire Keenan Allen because of where people drafted him.
Right.
Like, they don't want to let him go, and I'm like, I mean,
He's not the Keenan Allen that he was.
with Mike Williams there,
Right.
Eckler, like,
Right.
Well, they changed the offensive,
right.
with Stanley. Is that his name? Stanley?
Dude.
The
Not
new
Staley.
coach. The new coach.
This wasn't Deuce Staley. Man, now I got to look that up.
Which me and Aiden, my son, helped me draft. We had a shot, and we discussed both Williams and Allen at the same time, and we chose to go with Williams, and it panned out. But I definitely get like he hasn't been the same this season.
Brandon Staley's the head coach. OC
Yes.
is Joe Lombardi.
Yep. Kind of a funny thing I saw just real quick. If y'all look at I don't know if y'all are fans of Star Wars or not, and Anakin Skywalker, right?
Oh no, I'm not a fan of Star Wars. There,
Anakin Skywalker, right? That's
That's his
name.
name.
Yeah. So you go through the movies, right? You see him when he's a little kid, right? And he's pod racing, and then you see him like whenever he meets and starts, developing
Padme.
more feelings with her.
Natalie Portman.
Yes,
yeah.
Natalie Portman. And then you see him before he becomes Darth Vader and stuff. They literally have side-by-side pictures of Justin Herbert when he was a kid.
I've seen
Right
that. I've
next to
seen that.
Anakin when he was a little kid,
Yeah.
and then the middle age, and then now the grown up.
Yeah.
And dude, he looks just like him.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah,
that's funny.
it's like not only is he like potential MVP of the league, but
I
he
think
can
it's
pod
his
race.
hair. I think it's his hair.
Yeah, I think it is too.
And he
yeah.
wears his like helmet weird. I don't know if y'all noticed that when he goes to the sideline, he just like pulls it up.
Oh, he pulls it up and lets
Yeah.
it just kind of so he can breathe better.
Three pass catchers: Eckler, Keenan Allen, Williams,
Right.
tight end.
Maybe Cook.
Yeah, you can't play Cook though because that other guy keeps stealing the touchdowns. That
Last
farm
week waiver
guy.
wire, the fab that was spent, and then before it went, I went and checked, and Cook was only out there for like 57% offensive snaps, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's not high enough.
Yeah.
You got to have at least
See,
70.
like to me, neither one of the guys are able to play right now because they're both just taking away too much touches and time from each
Right.
other.
Because my son's a huge Chargers fan.
Yeah.
He told me this year, like Parnham, they want to get him the ball.
Yeah, they have.
That's
Yeah,
been
that's very
something
good,
that yeah.
This is a good game.
Bengals at Lions, and the little teaser for later on for my take it to the bank start of the week is coming from this game. We'll start off on the Bengals side first. Joe Mixon. They say he's getting the full workload, is what the coach said today going into the game or going into this weekend. So that's good news for Mixon owners. So you're running him out there. Don't have to worry about any of this backup stuff happening. Now, can we play all three wide receivers?
No.
So who's the odd person
Boyd.
out?
Boyd.
Boyd's the odd
Yeah.
person out again this
Yeah.
week?
For the season.
I think. I'm just for this week. I'm saying Higgins is the odd man out because he re-injured that same injury and he's nicked up going into the game. I think he's still going to play, but now we're factoring in an injury. and
This
I'd
is
rather-
just me. I'd rather take nicked up
Higgins.
Yes,
Yeah.
Higgins than a healthy Boyd at this point.
You want to bet on that, sir?
I was thinking, let's make this happen. Okay, Higgins is probably, I don't know, 20-ish, 24-ish, and Boyd is probably around 34-ish. So if you're going to take Higgins, we split the difference, and we're talking about a top 26.
Whoa, just for this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I mean, I'm cool if you give me top 26.
Boyd's inside the top 26?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, I'm going to go with a no.
All right, guys. Me versus the world. Y'all are the world.
I like to think so from time to time. Yes, thank you. But yeah, no, Boyd's outside the top 26.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well,
Absolutely.
remember that.
Does Higgins have to
Remember
be
that.
inside the top 26?
He's got to finish 26 or... Oh, wait, no. Boyd has finished 26 or better. And then if they all three just end up in the top 26, that would just even
Not going to happen. Boyd's outside
exclude
the top
all of our
26.
argument.
Yeah.
Anybody else from
Cincinnati?
the Bengals?
Nope.
Joe Burrow.
I think he has a good game this week.
Keeps doing it.
Probably play Burrow over Darnold
Yeah.
right now.
Burrow, Trevor Lawrence.
Burrow.
Burrow or Cousins.
Burrow.
You're getting worse.
You're going the wrong way.
Burrow or I'm just gonna give up.
Aggie.
I'll give you
Tannehill.
$10 for
Tannehill.
that.
Yeah, there we go. There's probably the
Burrow or Tannehill. That's
Burrow.
that's pretty
yeah.
close.
Dang. Yeah.
Tannehill's got both his receivers, so yeah, I'd still go Burrow.
Lion side of the ball. Can you play a lion?
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
you can play
DeAndre Swift.
Swift,
Can
yeah.
you play Williams though? I guess is the real question.
If you need a running back, yes, you could play Williams. Just hope he gets those receptions. That's the difference. He's getting the touches. The
Yeah.
workload's there. It's just if Swift gets the majority of the targets, and then Williams, But
That's one of those similar situations. It's who gets the touchdown.
I think you
they
got
can each have a touchdown. You just need to have a good fantasy day, you just need Williams to. And I say it because I've got Williams a lot. Well, I dealt him in one of them, but if I've got him in 3 or 4 leagues, like if he doesn't get any receptions and he doesn't get a touchdown, it's over. If he doesn't
Right.
get a touchdown,
Right.
but he still gets the receptions, then he's fine.
Yep. In a PPR. Yep.
Right.
TJ Hawkinson dealing with the knee issue. I think you got to keep rolling him out there, but ever since this knee thing happened a couple weeks ago, he has not been the same guy, of course. Unless you got a better option some way, somehow. Maybe if you – Dalton Schultz. Would you play Dalton Schultz over TJ Hawkinson right now with how he's been playing? Are we
Yeah.
not going that wild?
Yeah,
No.
I think
I would play Schultz for sure.
absolutely.
What
New England matchup, but that
Higbee or Gesicki over TJ Hawk? I think you got to play TJ then at that point. But
I think I might go Higbee over Hawkinson. I looked at Hawkinson's stat line and it was bad. So
Yeah.
until I see it start to go
Yeah.
back towards what we saw, then I would
Right.
probably roll with the
I wish they
upside
would
of
just
Higbee.
like rest him for a couple games, but they have nobody else to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
Anybody that you want to mention on the wide receiver front for Detroit that could be a potential waiver move to
so
get ahead of the waivers?
St. Brown.
St. Brown.
Super, absolutely.
Yeah, I have him. I had to pick him up in that premium wide receiver premium league. So St. Brown, just understand this, guys. If y'all roll him out there, and just like last week, he only plays all the Detroit wide receivers only played 70% of the offensive snaps. So they're a run first team with
Right.
they go big, they go heavy, they run. But if St. Brown emerges as the one, his value could take a hit because if he's the one, the defense is now keying in the best corners with him. Goff's just not even looking his way because he's the one. So that's the only issue with having a Lions wide receiver because you don't really trust the quarterback. So
Right.
you can have him. You might have to play him. Just,
That's what I expected. Like,
Gotta temper-
just be aware, guys.
Yeah.
Goff is throwing too.
Right.
He's a Lions wide receiver. So.
Right.
Rams at Giants, and Rams are going to be big favorites here.
Yep.
Oh, I thought they would be bigger favorites than this. 8.5 points. I'm sorry. I guess the Giants are getting a little bit of a bump because it's in New York. I guess
The Rams defense
technically
isn't
New Jersey.
what it was last year.
Absolutely.
Rams firing up everybody, right? The
All
whole
of 'em.
cast characters. Henderson. This is a great matchup for Henderson.
Van Jefferson, pump the brakes on Jefferson, but the 2 wide receivers, the tight end, the running
Yeah.
back, Stafford, play all of them.
Yep.
Yep.
Giants,
Giants. Crickets. Are we running out Booker? This is a tough matchup.
if you need them, play them. Low end
If you, pay-
RB2.
if you paid the fab
Yeah.
and you got him,
Yeah,
oh,
you
yeah,
had to
plan.
pay Fab.
75%. I saw him go for over $300. It's $500
Yeah.
fab over $300.
I'll raise you for a Tony.
I can't believe.
Tony, guys were paying
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
entire, and that's the next guy I was going to bring up here for the Giants. Are you playing him?
I have to. I love to. I want to. Yeah. I need a wide receiver so bad that I spent my remaining fab on him because I needed a wide receiver that bad. And then if Galladay's out and Shepard and Slayton are questionable, I mean, Josh,
I don't like. Oh, go ahead.
is there a single wide receiver left for all these teams that have the opportunity, the path for success that Tony has, barring injury? I mean, if let's just say, if Woods or Kupp goes down, then Van Jefferson goes up.
Yeah.
Right.
If one of the Vikings goes down, then Osborne goes up. But just straight up, like, who's the number one in New York? Everybody knows Shepard is good for PPR formats, but he's not the healthiest. Like,
I mean, it sounds like you have them both, and the closest I would say is St. Brown. As far as like just pure talent, has
And
the ability,
Yeah,
opportunity to
opportunity, yeah,
take
that's
over.
right.
St.
One's
Brown
got
would
Goff,
probably,
and
right,
one's got a capable quarterback.
right.
So I would much rather. That's why I spent all my fab on Tony.
Yeah.
Just be
Tony,
careful
great.
that Ramsey could shadow him in this game. Could follow him around the field, possibly. It's kind of up in the air if he will or not. But take this, Allen Robinson. I played Tony over you, and you're on my bench. Huh? I hope you're listening. Really told
It's
him.
like, yeah, I really do hope you're
My
listening.
my
Allen
one
Robinson.
thing I
That'd be
gotta
awesome.
say about that is I am worried, and this is why I'm starting Lawrence over. I do have Danny Dimes, but I am worried about Danny Dimes coming
Yeah, I
back
guess
from
we should,
the.
before I transition next game, Danny Dimes, are you playing him? Top 12? Is he a top 12 guy this week?
I'm playing Lawrence
guess I
over
15.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, I would go Trevor Lawrence over Danny.
Yeah, the matchup.
Burrow
is-
over Dimes, I would put Dimes just behind Trevor Lawrence, which is probably right around that 15
Yeah,
range.
more like a nickel this week instead of Dimes. Cards. Oh, this is a great matchup too. We talked about this one earlier. Also, Cardinals at Browns, and the Browns are favored by 3.5 points against the undefeated team. That seems a little off, but that's what CBS is giving us here. And maybe because the Browns are at home, they're getting that home bump here. The over-under for this game is 49.5. I will mention that because I think it actually will stay under. Kyler's a little nicked up. He's going to play.
You have to play him.
We talked about him the start of the show. But a guy that I will throw out here that is out, that we did find out today, is Chubb is out. Didn't log a single practice. Kareem Hunt banged up too, but he did log a practice today. And
A
they say
wise
he's gonna
man
be-
once told you that if you're going to draft Chubb, then you have to get Hunt.
Well, a wise man also told me that that's the only two running backs you need because you can just lean on those two in a wide receiver heavy lead. Now I don't have another running back.
That's Chris Evans. No, Herbert. I mean, there's going to be. So you have somebody.
Yeah, I have Chase Edmonds.
That's fine. You're fine.
Thanks.
For the week and then the bye week.
I
you're fine.
need Hunt to score like 40 points, and then Chase gets like 3. I'm fine.
You need 30 and 10.
Hey,
and
that's
that
what
is
I'm
very
talking about,
doable.
yeah.
That is very
Yeah.
doable.
Cardinals side of the ball, Dustin. Who are we all playing?
I mean, I think that's why the Browns are favored is, with all the nicked up. I mean, you got to play Murray with where you drafted him.
You can play
Hop.
Edmonds,
Play D-Hop.
Hopkins, AJ Green if you need him.
Right.
They, real quick note, they did trade for Zach Ertz today, but of course he won't be eligible to play because he just played on Thursday night. But for some reason he's out there on y'all's waiver wires. I mean, I guess you can't make a move, but just get ready to put in a bid. I mean, Max Williams was looking.
He was rostered everywhere.
Yeah, I tried to look
because
too, just in
Goddard
case.
hit the
Yeah.
COVID, so then everyone grabbed
Picked up,
Ertz.
Ertz.
AJ Green's a wide receiver 4 this week. I wouldn't mess with Rondell Moore yet,
Hey, he's,
Right.
but he's coming on.
Yeah, he's coming
Right.
on.
Christian Kirk could be the 4th man on the totem pole, and I think that takes us to Cleveland. Are there any pass catchers?
What's a pass catcher?
It's
I
that's-
think that's what the quarterback is asking.
Oh,
Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, that's what
He's,
Mayfield's asking right
He's
now.
been going just with Njoku, but help might be on the way. Jarvis Landry was out of practice today, and he is been activated from the IR. They have 21 days to bring him to the active roster, so the countdown is on. He might get activated this week. If Jarvis Landry were to get activated, would y'all play him?
No.
No.
Coming off of injury is the only reason why I say no. Give it a week or two. Let me see what's happening. But no, I mean,
I've
Right.
thought about it.
Coming off an injury,
PPR,
run strong team.
I'm leaning, but I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Njoku. We playing Njoku at tight end. He
No.
balled out last week.
Mm-mm.
Are we playing anybody
He-
else other than Kareem Hunt then on this team? No Baker Mayfield, right?
Hey, well, in last episode, he commented on the Cardinals' defense being legit, and I think the Cardinals' defense is legit. So I know Hunt's going to have the workload, so I'm confident starting him. But that's another reason why I'm shying away from everybody else for
That's
Cleveland.
the over under is 49.5, but I really think the 2 stars of this game is going to be the defense. I think it's going to be an extremely
Yeah,
low
I think that's what I
scoring
said. I think
game.
it's going to be the under here. Just a real quick name to throw out: Dimitri Felton. is the third string running back for the Browns. Now, if they keep going with their 2 running back system, or what they would do with Chubb and Hunt, do we think Hunt's going to get all the work, all the love?
Well, no, he's.
Or are they going
he's
to try
gotta
to
go
mix
the
in these
sideline
2
at some
guys?
point, yeah.
Like, so this might be a sneaky guy to sneak on your bench just before,
And they
in case
like
something does
Felton.
happen.
They
Yeah.
like him. So
something could happen there. Well, real quick, just for fun, who wins this game?
Arizona.
I think Cleveland pulls it out.
Yeah,
I think that defense.
Ohio. I think they give them their first loss.
Yep.
Raiders at Broncos. The Broncos are 4-point favorites here. Low over under also. What's going on this game? Can we play any Raiders? Josh Jacobs gonna probably be in and out of the game. Hopefully he's gonna. I think you could play Jacobs in your flex, hopefully, but
I wouldn't play Jacobs. He's been too inconsistent for me. I mean, if I had him, obviously with the state my running backs are in, I would play him.
He would be a running back one for me.
Absolutely. But we talked about it a little bit before we started. You know, it's kind of interesting and kind of dependent on which Raiders we see. Do we see the Raiders that, you know, we don't need Chucky, we can do it ourselves?
Yeah.
Or do we see broken down, our head coach is gone,
Boo hoo hoo.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
pity
not-
us,
Yeah.
let's go get the first draft pick?
Yeah.
It really depends on which
I-
Raiders you see.
Don't really care personally for fantasy as long as they're throwing the ball to Darren Waller. I think I would like to see that.
I was
from
like,
the
you
last
know,
couple
we
years.
started a podcast about fantasy.
I'm like,
like,
I don't care about anybody else. Darren Waller. That's it. No, I mean, if you got to play Jacobs here, play Jacobs. Kenyon Drake. No. Peyton Barber. Is he droppable now, guys, at this point?
I
yeah.
think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
that whole thing's over with.
As long as Jacobs is healthy, yeah, you can drop
Any
Barber,
wide
yeah.
receivers here? Hunter Renfro.
I think
PPR
he's
only.
the most consistent
Yeah, oh, definitely.
out of them.
PPR only is Renfro.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, whenever they throw to Brian Edwards more than just the last 2
Okay,
minutes
so
of the
then
game.
that's my question is now that Gruden's gone and you think the interim head coach and Derek Carr and the OC, the 3 of them are sitting there and they're saying, you know what, guys?
We're gonna throw to our biggest.
We're gonna
strongest
we're gonna
guy,
start
other
the-
than Waller.
Carr, you want to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns? Let's start airing it out. Let's start throwing the ball. Let's stop going down the field all conservative and just dinking and dunking.
Henry Ruggs is now entered the chat into the chat room.
I'm curious.
I mean, I
is there
keep
a
saying
chance
this.
that they do that.
I keep saying this statistic since the draft. I read somewhere that Derek Carr had the most long field attempts.
Down the field, yeah, attempts, yeah.
Right, deep ball, he's actually pretty good. I just don't like Carr. I just don't.
Yeah.
I feel like the 3 of them are sitting there and they all look at Carr and Carr's like, I'm good just throwing it to Waller a few times, maybe running and handing it off to Jacobs. Like, I don't think Carr's gonna, especially against Denver. So,
Yeah, speaking of that, Broncos side of the ball, who are we playing? Are we playing Melvin Gordon, who now has a new injury designation, hip injury, but it looks like he's going to go. Then you got Javonte Williams, of course. And then the wide receivers here, Tim Patrick. Nobody likes Tim Patrick, but he's consistent.
yeah.
Um,
PPR, you can play Patrick, just don't expect much.
Sutton, wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
I think this is probably going to be Sutton's
You think so?
worst matchup.
Oh. All right.
Market.
Market. Noah Fant.
No.
Maybe.
No, not for me. I'd rather go with Dalton Schultz,
Yeah.
Dan Arnold.
Gasecki, those kind of
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
All
No
right.
on
I mean, the
Noah.
tide has turned.
I've just
on-
never been big on
Would he
Fant.
be a trade candidate right now?
No.
No? You don't think that the upside's there later on?
I think they want to run the ball and play defense.
Yeah.
So
Between-
Sutton,
Speaking of running the ball, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, how are we leaning this week, guys? It's a train always. We don't
I
know
think
what to
people,
do.
for health reasons, I think Javonte might be
I
the
think
60-40.
it's starting to lean that way. Starting to lean that way.
Instead
I
of
think.
50-50 Gordon first, I think it could be 60-40
If
with Gordon first,
Gord-
but
if
Williams.
Gordon would have been ruled out of this game, guys,
Oh.
Javonte, man, this would have been a smash matchup. But they are getting Boone back too, so our luck. Javante would have been fired up in every single league, and then Boone sneaks in 2 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah.
the fantasy gods strike again. Cowboys at Patriots. Cowboys are favored by 51. Oh, no, I read that wrong. Sorry, guys. Cowboys are favored by 3 points. High over-under here for this game, 50.5. Vegas is thinking this is going to be a tighter game than what probably most Cowboys fans think. Firing up everybody in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still can't play Pollard, right, in the same as Zeke, right? You can't.
No, I don't know if I would play him.
Got a guy doing that against me, actually. He's playing Pollard as his running back, too.
So I actually, before I texted you, I almost texted you about Pollard. But
He's
yeah.
like, not for sale.
No, I have Zeke. Yeah, no, I don't.
So Zeke, Schultz, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper. If
Yep.
Gallup's out there, guys, just start putting him back on your radar. If he's out there on waivers for some reason, scoop him up. He's getting close to coming back here in the next couple weeks.
Wilson?
Wilson will be irrelevant when Gallup comes back. If Gallup does come back and show out, gets back to his normal, then Wilson
Yeah.
would be.
I think when Gallup's back, everyone's got to temper expectations with Schultz. That's why I didn't bid. I didn't go hard for Fab with Schultz because Gallup was on IR.
You say those kind of words to me,
I
sir.
know. I know. He goes from being the third pass catcher to the third, maybe fourth, and
Maybe
and-
fifth?
Yeah. Sorry.
Dak and Schultz eat breakfast together, okay?
Do they?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. The other side of the ball, the Patriots. Are we running anybody out here? Harris might not go. He's questionable going into the game. No.
Jacoby Myers.
Hey, he finally gets a touchdown this week. Are you calling it?
No, he doesn't score.
Oh.
But in PPR, yeah, you can roll
Poor
him out
guy.
there.
He's played every single game he's ever been in his life. He's never scored.
And
Or-
Hunter Henry.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry?
Myers and Henry are the only pass catchers, the only
If
players.
they rule out Harris, do you play Stevenson? He's the only guy left, pretty much. Or Bolden, I guess.
I guess you could, yeah. If Harris is out, yes, you can play Stevenson. If Harris is in, the only one that I would even consider is Bolden because they're going to be
pass
playing
catcher,
from
yeah.
behind.
That's what I was about
catching
to
the
say.
ball.
That's why I don't think you could play Stevenson unless you see him catching the ball more. They're going to be.
But if it's just him
behind,
and Bolden, he should get goal line work.
Man, that's a tough one, guys.
I'd rather play him over Latavius Murray.
Our Sunday night football game. This isn't as good as what we thought it was going to be. They said Al Michaels took the week off. He chose I think he strategically chose this one.
Why couldn't the other guy? That's bummer.
Collinsworth, the guy
Yeah.
that slides in.
Right. It's keep Al and let Collinsworth have the week off.
Seahawks at Steelers, and the Steelers are favored by 5 points. I guess they had out that decent week they had last week, and then now Geno Smith, the quarterback for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson went on IR. We mentioned at the beginning of the show Carson Wentz. He's going to be on IR, I'm sure, at some point.
I got it wrong, but I also got it right. Just understand me, okay?
Chris Carson is on IR.
It's funny.
All right, guys, what Seahawks are we playing then?
Collins,
Yep.
Alex Collins at running back. Metcalf.
I don't think he can play Lockett.
you have to
He's-
play Lockett.
yeah.
I don't know
He's
if you can bench him.
hugely dependent on Wilson, though.
Yeah, he does have a point of what you saw in the limited time that Geno was out there. He was
Nothing.
not throwing the ball to Lockett.
Yeah.
But, hey,
Right, they've had a week of practice now, so if you've got Lockett, just if you need him, roll him out there. I would play personally. I would play Tony, Kadarius Tony over
Tyler
Lockett.
Lockett?
Yep,
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
for sure.
What about Adam Thielen? Thielen's been the breaking point on all these questions.
That's
why
because I
brought him
don't
back
know.
out.
I don't know if I should be trading for him right now. Which what we saw with Robert Woods, and I know we're talking about a Matt Stafford and a McVay offense versus Cousins, but when you have two wide receivers like that,
The squeaky rule kind of gets to
yeah, like why was I not trading for Woods? Why was I trying to shop Woods? Like I should have been all over that ahead of the curve, thinking, hey, just give it a week. Now we're talking about Thielen. I'm going, hey man, like if I could get, would I trade Kadarius Toney for Thielen?
Yeah. I think you have to.
I don't know.
Nah, I wouldn't like that. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
You would rather have Thielen over Tony season?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you could really miss big time, and Tony could be something huge.
You've got Thielen, and right? You've got Thielen in this league?
Not this league, no.
Oh,
Other league, yeah.
What about Claypool? Do you trade Claypool for Thielen? now that it's the reverse.
I would still roll with Thielen.
Y'all said give
Yeah.
up Tony for Thielen. So
No, I think
he's
I'd
like,
keep
no, Claypool.
Claypool.
You're gonna keep Claypool.
I think I would keep Thielen if it was, in that deal. I had Thielen and somebody was trying to give me Claypool, but that's super close.
So y'all have Tony under Thielen, and then you've got Thielen over Claypool.
Yeah, but it's super
I'm the
close.
tiebreaker. Ooh, I don't want to do this. Who's next?
We were talking about the Steelers side of the ball here. No Big Ben. Well, Big Ben
Najee.
will be there, but don't
Boom.
play Big Ben.
Najee,
that's
tear
it.
it up.
Deontay Johnson
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
Claypool.
Roll 'em out there.
Claypool. That's it.
Yep.
Cool. Can you play the Steelers defense? I will mention that since they are going against Geno Smith.
Geno Smith. He's gonna throw a pick. He's gonna get sacked.
Yep.
Might even fumble. So
Yep.
yes, roll the Steelers D.
Alrighty, and our final game of the week, and then we'll get into our take it to the bank starter of the week. Bills at Titans. This should be well, you would think at the beginning of the year this would be a great Monday game, but the Titans haven't looked very Titanish, if that's a word. The Bills are favored by 5.5 points. We'll start off with the Titans side of the ball, and then we'll go to the exciting actual offense. Derrick Henry. Anybody else? Any takers? Going once, going twice.
Derrick
Hey.
Henry's
A.J.
doppelganger. They're gonna
A.J.
throw him
Brown.
out there.
For the limited usage, they're easing him back in. He did look decent last week. I think he'll get the ball more. And guess who's back? He's
Back
knocking at
again.
the door. Let me in. It's Julio. I'm back. Julio's back this week. No injury designation going into the game. How crazy are we? If you had Julio Jones, would you fire him up?
Nah, I want to see at least a week of productivity.
Yeah, I mean if you have to, but I'm not looking for it.
Right.
Yeah. I would say Julio or Kadarius Toney.
Man,
I'm gonna go Tony. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'd go
That's a
Tony
smart
over-
move. Tyler Lockett or Julio Jones?
Ooh.
I'd go Julio.
I'd go Julio. Yep.
Yeah, it's close. I think I would go Lockett.
I'm not counting on Geno to pinpoint accuracy, route running, which Geno looked pretty good, but you go back and look at his stat line and you're like, oh, he's still Geno. So, I mean, no, I think I would go with Julio and hope for a higher scoring game.
Julio or a gentleman we're about to talk about right now, Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, Sanders.
Yeah.
Sanders, man, he's been coming off 2 very huge weeks. And going into that, the Bills side of the ball here,
Fire him up.
fire them all up.
Yep.
What do you do with the running backs, though? Just play Moss, right? Because he's the one catching the ball. I mean,
Yeah, Moss is the only running back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is Singletary droppable?
Yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't do that if Moss.
I would probably package him.
Try to keep him on your bench, but if worst case scenario, drop him, especially when we get in the bye palooza.
If you have Moss, you keep Singletary, but I'm making trade proposals where I know that I'm just going to take 1 or 2 pieces in the deal and drop them, and Singletary's in that
Singletary
category.
was dropped in a league of mine too today, actually. On the wide receiver side, we're just rolling with Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs. Do we think Stephon Diggs has a big Stephon Diggs day here? That's a lot of D's to say.
I think so.
He bounces back this week. I mean, not that he hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been like great.
You know, he was my wide receiver 4, maybe even 5 at the start of the season, and it was solely on the fact that between Gabriel Davis, them acquiring Emmanuel Sanders, I had a feeling that this was the natural course of things was going to take Josh Allen to spreading the ball around.
Right.
More. That Diggs wasn't going to have the volume that he did. So I love Diggs. He's playing great. High-powered offense. I had to take him down 1 or 2 spots in my ranking. But no, I think he's going to have a good game.
Anybody else that
Does
we
he
want to
score?
mention?
I don't know.
Your guy, sir. Go ahead and say his name. Tight end. He's been
Knox.
balling.
He
Knox.
has.
Bring out the Knox.
I think he's kind of reached the set it and forget it.
Hey, what do you think, Craig?
For Knox?
Yeah.
No, not set it and forget it.
Go ahead.
Top
Set it,
8?
forget it.
Dalton Schultz or Knox?
This week?
Rest of season.
Ooh.
Since you think Schultz is just going to plummet down a rabbit
But
hole.
it's the same reason with Knox. Think about, okay, Diggs isn't going anywhere. And barring injury, Sanders isn't going anywhere. So now you're looking at he's the third.
Yeah, but his role will stay the same. They're not going to bring anybody else
Yeah.
in that's already established.
He only had 3.
Going with your theory, I would go with Knox.
He only had 3 targets. Josh Allen was still spreading the ball around enough that he had 3 targets. He had 3 catches, 3 targets, and it was 125 yards and a touchdown, which is amazing. He pushed off, it looked like, on that big reception. But, no, I mean, I would probably go Knox, but
I mean, that's the thing is
anything after tight end 6, I don't even really care.
Yeah.
Like,
Allen
give me a
has-
high-scoring game.
Allen has been throwing the ball so much that's why he's almost reached a set it and forget it style, is because he is going to get receptions that game. Is it going to be the 3 for 125 and a touchdown?
What if
It
it's
may
3
not
for 30
be.
and no touchdown?
It,
That's where I draw the line. I mean, I'd rather, like I said, after so many tight ends, I just play matchups.
yeah.
I would need both Knox and Schultz, and then I would just play the higher scoring game.
Well, guys, before we get to the Take It to the Bank starter of the week that we'll each throw out here, Craig, tell us a little bit about Hooked Up Outfitters.
Captain Pat Tabor down here in South Texas. If you're specifically Corpus Christi, Con Brown Harbor, Aransas Pass. The guy, he competes in the Redfish tournament down here in the South. I think it's Redfish World Series. So he competes in that every year. He places. I think last season he was probably top 12, top 15 out of something like 50 or 60 anglers. So the guy can catch fish. He can find fish. He'll put you on the redfish. He'll put you on the trout. He's a funny guy, too. You know, you get out there, you're on the water, you're enjoying the sun, the waves, the wind, and then you've got some comic relief in the background coming from the captain. So, again, look him up, guys. Captain Pat Tabor, Hooked Up Outfitters.
Yeah, one of my drivers at work is going down to the coast, and I recommended Mr. Pat Tabor to
There you
him. So yeah, I think he's gonna look him up. Dustin, do you want to help pop the screen back on real quick, and then we'll roll into our starters of the week? Craig, who are we rolling with?
Just go down to live feed and hit the eyeball.
Well, and I apologize for Corey Davis last week.
Yeah, I think I should get an apology because I played him on your word.
I played him too, man. I don't know how or why the Jets. They just Zach Wilson. I think he had 4 or 5. I mean, he had the targets. He just didn't have the receptions, and the Jets just didn't.
Well, see, this is what happens. See, just going with a Halloween theme here since we're getting so close. You told me if I go down this path, there was going to be a bag of candy. You know what was there? A flaming bag of poo.
Trick. You got tricked. Ha ha ha.
All right, so is it a trick or a treat this week?
It's going to be a treat, guys, and let's go with Ricky Seals-Jones.
Nice.
Against
nice,
Kansas City, high scoring. Washington, he could be the second pass catcher. He might even be the first catcher, depending on what F1's doing. So Ricky Seals-Jones, set it and forget it. I play him over Dawson Knox, Dalton Schultz.
Dustin, who are you firing up this week? Who's this Take It to the Bank starter of the week?
I am doing this purely to spite somebody. I'm Dawson Knox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Top 8.
I think he outscores Ricky Seals-Jones.
Okay, there you go.
Hey.
Keep it simple, yeah.
3
and-
targets, 200 yards. this week.
All right. It's fine.
Guys, I'm going to go with the guy that, usually we don't play guys on this team. They've been down in the dumps. People laugh at them. They get put on national TV every day or every year during Thanksgiving. And they just keep
Texans?
putting out
You're going to say
poor teams every year.
Detroit Lions, DeAndre Swift.
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth. DeAndre Swift. And I'll keep with my theme of every week of I'm going to guarantee you 2 touchdowns here. And I guarantee you 2 touchdowns last week for Michael Carter. That was last week, right? Michael
so.
Carter. Yeah, and he only got one, so I do apologize.
That's why Corey Davis didn't do anything, because the only Jets touchdown went to Michael Carter.
Yeah. And a funny thing, I don't know if y'all ever listen to ESPN, but Mike Greenberg, like, he's one of the main guys on there. He's like a huge Jets fan, right? He's like, you know what makes your NFL Sunday like ruined when you're a Jets fan is like when they play at 8:30 in the morning and they lose and the rest of your day is just terrible. So I thought that was pretty funny. I thought I'd share that.
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, guys, any other? Well, let's throw out one more real quick name. Anybody else have some another guy that they would? I'll tell you who mine was that I was gonna. I think it's a smash play, and we mentioned him earlier, Henderson. For the
Absolutely.
Rams, that was going to be my start of the week, but I thought that was just too obvious. Dustin, Craig, y'all got another guy you want to just throw out there for anybody to take it to the bank?
Well, and take it to the bank again. We've talked about. I mean, it's pretty easy when you name off a top 10 player. So trying to
Right.
keep it outside the top 10, somebody that you can have confidence in. Maybe somebody who you just need, But if you're so confident in a DeAndre Swift, then technically you should have some confidence with Jamal Williams. In theory, it works the same way. I mean, you're not going to have a 3-touchdown game
Right.
from Jamal Williams, but whether on the ground or in the air, Williams gets in the end zone. I mean, if you're that confident, you said 2 touchdowns. What if I said 1 and 1? I mean, you can make the case.
I think my other guy would be Devontae Smith. I think he's going to have a amazing.
Devontae Smith already played. Are you trying to troll me, sir? After I played him last night
Yep.
and he burned me?
Yep.
Devontae Smith, I'm
Three
trying to.
Next week.
three catches, and 30 yards. It was 2
I
catches
know
and 30
if you
yards.
go to Chuck E. Cheese, you take your kids there, you don't even get tokens anymore. But I will take those vintage tokens for Devontae Smith.
No, I think
turned on
Claypool has a big game this week.
Oh, Claypool.
Claypool, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost went with that. I'm worried Najee gets up. Seattle can't keep up.
Yeah,
but
that's my worry too.
Claypool, or all the targets go to Deontay Johnson. What targets? I mean, it's such a low passing offense. Deontay's the one. Najee gets in the end zone. Claypool's got 5 or 6 targets. He catches 3 or 4, but he doesn't get in the end zone.
If he could just get 5 or 6 catches and 60 yards, he doesn't kill you. But
Yep.
that's probably something at least your baseline you want out of him. Well, guys, good week. Good luck in your week 6 matchups. Thank you for everybody who joined us today.
Absolutely.
Please comment, follow, subscribe. We had somebody in the chat last week. So yeah, anytime y'all want to chime in. Follow us on, of course, YouTube, Fantasy Football House, Instagram at fantasy_football_house, Twitter at FF House Show. And Craig, where can they find you at on Twitter?
True Blue the Third. True Blue I.
What's Twitter? No. Nice Guy Gaming 16.
And I'm at Playmakers with the Z88. Dustin, I see you real quick before we get out of here. The Astros hat's on. Is the Astros going to win this game tonight? First game of the NLCS or ALCS against Boston? No? You're
No.
shaking your head. They're going to lose?
No. Yep.
I had a bad
They
take.
still have that bad juju for.
I trolled one of my buddies that lives in LA pretty hard last night because it was the San Francisco Giants versus the LA Dodgers, and whoever won the game got the advance on. And I was like, I'm praying that the Giants beat the Dodgers, and then I added him, right? And I'm like, why isn't he commenting back the entire game? He's not saying nothing. And then I wake up to a text at 4 a.m. when I get ready for work or a reply on Twitter, and he's like, are you still talking? Is what he said to me. And I was like, my account got hacked. Sorry. And then don't ever say that, guys. A little recommendation. Don't ever say on Twitter that your account got hacked. Because after that, 5 bots replied to me and said, call this number if your account got hacked. I'm like, okay, guys. I was just.
So I don't know the Halloween theme. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Myles Garrett he wins Halloween hands down this year.
Oh, his house, huh?
He
Bless you.
has gravestones for every quarterback he sacked in his yard.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's no Mason on there, but he does have a backyard, so there's a possibility that it's just in the backyard.
Well, Are you talking about Mason Rudolph?
Yeah.
Pretty sure if you think somebody called you that word, there's probably a gravestone for you somewhere too. Alrighty, guys. Well, yeah, y'all have a good week 6, and we'll see y'all later.
Absolutely.
Peace out.
And leave your shoes at the door.